Welcome back to another Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. It's NWA. I normally have it at the back, and I've realised I've just got the promoting the
It's
logo.
all right. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. As you could have just heard or seen and heard if you're on YouTube, I am with the lovely Miss Fiona Lockwood, who has been in Hall of Fame company these last couple of days. Now, I'm not talking about Kenny yet, but you was in the company of the Hall of Famer Lita for the last few days. How was that? How was that tour from inside the ropes?
It's been great. We did the two shows. So we did London on Monday and Glasgow last night. Two absolutely completely different shows. Brilliant shows. It was lovely to meet her. She's just an absolute pro. Such a lovely human being. I really hope that you enjoyed the shows if you were there. The meet and greets, she took time with all the fans, loads of photos and autographs, and some really, really cool stories on stage. So yeah, a lot of fun.
Brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. But we're back to the real world now, and it's back to the territories part two. That's four, but two. I was like the Southern Six, isn't it? Six and there's
You're
back
lucky I
to,
didn't do that instead.
wow, that would there we go. Sweared at me that she'd only been on the show a minute and a half. What's going on? Right, so let's get to back to the territories part two this week. It was the Thomas Latimer story that opened up.
So good. I love this open.
It was brilliant, wasn't it? Basically, the trials, tribulations, and bullshit that he's been through, basically.
And he's been through a lot, let's be honest.
He certainly has. And we'll get into a bit more of Mr. Latimer soon because he has a match. But it went through the old school open again. I wish they would keep that.
I love it. I know. I'm really fond of it. It's
I
just,
really
even the fact that Austin Idol opens it does not bother me.
no, I can get used to that. That's all fun. So on tap this week, I'll just quickly run through the matches. It was there was the Mid American Rumble, which wasn't a Rumble, but we'll get to that in a minute for the Mid American Championship. Carson Drake versus Brian Idol. There was Latimer versus Boz, and there was the It Girls and Pretty Empowered in a street fight. So we have got a lot to get into, a lot to crack on, and it opened up actually with the Mid American Rumble, which amongst my surprise wasn't a rumble. It was a four-way elimination match pitting some people from the territories, though, Fee.
Which I actually thought was really, really cool. Obviously, each competitor was from a different. So who
Territory.
did we have? We had Jeremiah Plunkett,
Exactly.
who's previously
JCP.
known to NWA fans for representing JCP. Then we had Mario Perdua, who was representing NWA Chicago.
Yep.
We had Dante Casanova from Exodus Pro,
Mhm.
and then Hunter Drake from Crossfire Wrestling.
Mhm.
Four really, really talented, ridiculously talented individuals. I actually was quite excited to see the four of them in the ring together. I thought this is going to be good.
It was really good because you also had kind of different styles in many ways. You obviously had Padua, which was the power.
Mm-hmm.
Casanova was a bit of a power guy as well. You had Plunky, that's just a bit of everything, and then you had Hunter
Yeah.
Drake, that's the high flyer of the four. And they certainly did do that. And I remember on commentary, 1957, the title, Buddy Rogers had it, Dutch Mantel had it for 13 years. So they're bringing back this title. I did say that Hunter Drake, I had to make a note of Hunter Drake and how impressive he looked in this. With his
I
like,
actually thought all four of them looked really
yeah,
impressive, though. Like,
oh yeah,
I had seen a spoiler this morning. Had I not seen the spoiler, I think I would have been like, this could be anybody's.
and I think it was. I think like, looking at it from even because obviously didn't see the spoiler. I watched it on the Tuesday, so there wasn't any spoilers out by the time I watched it, and I couldn't pick a winner, and I actually thought the winner of the match was going to be eliminated first when I was watching it, which was actually made it more enjoyable as well. I mean, this match there was a Hunter, obviously Hunter Drake was really impressive. They hit obviously Cardona started it as well by base, and he was just saying he would won it if he was in it.
Of course, he would have.
That's Matt Cardona being Matt Cardona. However, unfortunately, Hunter Drake was eliminated first.
He was. That was Casanova that
It
pinned
was.
him, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. There was a 450 as well from Drake, but then a big elbow by Casanova that I think got the job done in that. And Drake got eliminated first, which was a bit of a shame. I was kind of hoping he would be in there near the end, but eliminated first. But then Casanova was next, and it was basically a rock bottom. from Padua that eliminated him, and then it was down to Plunky and Mara Padua, and this was a there was a little bit of shenanigans from Plunky in this. No,
And
there was no DQ, so it doesn't matter. But he did do a thumb in the eye of Casanova, didn't he, during that match?
I didn't see that at all.
You didn't see it. Neither did the ref, funnily enough. But it wouldn't have mattered, though, because obviously it was a no DQ, these fatal four ways. And then he hit the power driver, did Plunky, and becomes the Mid American champion.
I love Plunky so much. Obviously, he was like, was he our first guest on the show? He was our first ever NWA guest, was he not?
Was it him or Sal?
I think he was.
Because it went sort of him, Sal, AJ, I think, right?
Yeah, so Plunky was our first ever our guest. So we have a lot of love for Plunky.
Was
So
it not
I
Deals?
am, what's that?
Was it not Deals?
I can't remember if it was Deals or Plunky. I think it might have been Plunky first. Plunky, feel free to confirm. Um,
Yeah.
but I could not be happier. I am delighted to see him back on my TV. Because I've missed him from NWA, I've missed him from the program and stuff. So I am delighted to see him back, and kudos to his cowboy wrestling boots. I love them.
You certainly love them. You watched JCP the other week, right? On YouTube. I saw a picture.
I,
Was he on that?
I don't think he was on that episode.
Hmm. I hadn't seen him in ages. It felt so long. Even Padua, we only seen Padua for a while. Has
Yeah, he kind of was in for a couple of episodes and then disappeared again. So,
he was off
but I think
doing.
with this territories thing going on now, hopefully we'll get to see more people like that dipping in and out on a kind of
Yeah.
more regular basis.
I'd like to think so. Well, I'd certainly hope so anyway, because they're good. I mean, all four, you say, all four of these guys were great,
Yeah,
and
it was a really, really enjoyable match.
and I think that's a good thing about these territories because I mean, obviously we knew, well, we knew Padua, but I hadn't seen Casanova before. Maybe I did, but he may have been in some sort of tag. I can't remember. Hunter Drake, I don't remember, but there was who's the one that was with the kids? Who's the kids one? What's his name? There's so many, isn't there? There's Carson Drake. There's another one.
I
Anyway,
honestly, there's multiple Drakes actually in that area. So,
did I
and
Harold?
the guy I know the girls were talking about are they talking about Drakes the other week, and I get them mixed up because there is a few of them.
There is a few, and I can't remember off the top of my head.
Can't
Jackson,
help you. So
Jackson.
there's Jackson, there's Hunter, there's Carson. Is there any more Drakes? There probably is.
There is one, isn't there? Because there is another one that's, I'm sure they're a tag team in the Crossfire. Kenzie, feel free to. Kylie, feel free to tell us.
And we're not doing very well tonight.
It's been a long week already, and we're only halfway through it. Yes, so they're all four of them were impressive in there anyway, and it's nice these territory shows because we do get to see some of these new ones that perhaps are, we don't get to see. I mean, next week, for example, I can't wait for something next week. We'll get to it near the end. I'm
I know
so
what you're going to say.
excited for next week's show already. But yes, anyway, so yes, congratulations, Plunky. You are the Mid-American champion, and we've seen you with a load of pictures, and one of them that Fee showed me a little while ago was the superimposed one on Shawn Michaels of him being Shawn Michaels in a
Classic.
sense. Yeah, with a
Love
belt
it.
around his midriff, shall we say? Anyway, then we cut to Father Jim Mitchell or James Mitchell or whatever you want to call him,
The
and
Sinister Minister.
the Sinister Minister, indeed, and that is basically saying about how they've targeted Riley Page
And
and
how Natalia Markova, sorry, couldn't get it out there, was actually not screwed over in that match for the Women's TV Championship.
no, apparently she wasn't because it was going to be on the cards anyway, and that they're going after Kenzie Page at NWA 76, and she's under threat because of it. So we'll have to
And
see.
going home in a body bag, I was like, oh, that's a bit extreme.
Yes, that is kind of extreme with murder on TV. I don't know if you saw AEW last week, but we did have a suffocation and a needle in the mouth. So, I mean, um,
Not my thing.
there you go. So anything's possible and it's NWA, and anything is absolutely possible in NWA. Just watch Samhain from last year, and you'll understand that comment. Anyway, it wasn't cooking with Carson this week. It was Carson on Drake, another Drake, against Brian
So that
Idol.
was, yeah.
From
Carson representing Exodus Pro and Brian Idol representing Fight the World as well, which is
yeah,
cool. And
FTW.
before we go into this, I just like to just say I loved the intros because the intros have gone old school.
Yes.
So when the wrestlers are coming out, and you see it flick between that and obviously HD, but
Yeah.
when the wrestlers are coming out, and it was I never noticed it in the first match. It was only this match, and I was like, oh my God. And it's not widescreen, and
No.
the camera footage is a little bit grainy. It's got the old kind of lines going down it, and then when they're in the ring and the match starts, and they've obviously done it with all of them. It probably happened last week and I didn't even notice it then either. But it obviously opens up to widescreen and HD. I love that touch. The little things like that are like, yeah, you I get this. Like you get what you're doing as well for the fans. Like such a nice little touch.
The little nuances that they do on these type of shows that make the biggest difference and the biggest impact, and that
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely.
I actually thought this was a good technical match actually for the majority of it. I've not
They're both they're both really good wrestlers.
they are because you don't really get to see it a lot, do you? Carson's more joking, and he was a little bit of having fun. Did you see? Did you notice the shorts? Or the
I
same.
did. I did
um,
notice the shorts
the pants
or
or trunks, whatever you want
trunks,
to call
I
them.
should
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, they're both very technically gifted wrestlers, which obviously makes for a good match. Two technical guys. Sometimes it doesn't work though, but on this case, it certainly did. There was a big moonsault at one point, but we once again got another poke in the eye, and this was from
I did
Carson.
see that one.
You saw that one? Ah,
I
yeah,
did see
yeah.
that one.
Did you see the feet on the ropes as well?
I did see the feet on the ropes.
And Carson gets the win because of it, and then does a little dance on the outside of the ring. Did
The
you?
referee didn't see the feet on the ropes.
No, I think these referees need to be looked at, to be quite honest.
I'm
They're,
saying nothing.
they're not great. Then again, if you saw, again, just going back to AEW, if you saw a match this week on AEW, you would have seen the referee push the guy's foot away so he kicks out of a pinfall. so, so again, referees are referees. So a win for Carson Drake. That's quite an interest because has he won a match that I've seen on Power? I don't know
I don't think so.
because he was on the match where Mims went mad with his partner.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that. I don't think he actually has, but I think Jake is Carson Jake as opposed to Hunter Jake or any of the other Jakes. He's a sneaky one. I think you got to keep an eye on him. I don't think that's the first time he's done that, and I doubt it will be the last.
Oh, definitely not. He's a player for sure in that sense. He will
And
always be.
it's kind of weird to see Brian Idol as a face. I don't because he
Well,
was a kind of face. Well, yeah, he was face in this, and
yes.
I, I don't, I don't get it. Like, that doesn't work for me.
Well, it was quite interesting as well because we saw the Page sisters as well later on, their faces. I know it was in their hometown. I know it's sort of
Yeah,
in their neck of the woods, but I didn't see when you kind of don't see it, do you? It just kind of happens. And one show they're against. I think they were the other week when they were against someone. I was like, well, why are they going against them? They're two heels, and it was like you don't really get to see a
yeah.
face turn or a heel turn as such. It just kind of happens over. I
I
wouldn't
think
say
we're
over.
just so used to seeing Idol as the heel in most of the
Yeah,
matches. It's really unusual to see him come out and be that kind of guy who's geeing up the crowd and stuff and trying to get the crowd behind him. Maybe I just haven't seen enough of it.
possibly. That's possibly the case. It is difficult because we say from one week to the next, you don't always necessarily see them every week, do you? It's sometimes
Yeah,
4 weeks or whatever. But still a win for Carson Drake, and he happily danced his way to the back.
he's so cheesy. It's hilarious.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? No cooking with Carson, although they did make a reference to it, and he did do something rather with he made a reference to it as well during the match at some point. Now we mentioned Latimer. Now was it the same boss?
No,
No, so it was a different boss. Lots of
I'm sure
bosses.
it was a different boss.
Well, this
I'm
was
pretty
Steve
sure
boss.
the previous boss did not have a ponytail.
So well, he wouldn't have grown it back that quick either. So this was Steve Boz
Hmm.
against Tom Latimer in a very kind of quick match. It was quite hard hitting as well for the most of it. Then Boz did do a Sister Abigail
He
in there,
did.
and
He did.
paid homage to the late great Bray Wyatt. He then Latimer hit the brighter side of suffering for the.
I love the name of that. Is there a bright side of suffering? I don't know.
Well, I wouldn't want the brighter side of suffering either, especially not from Mr. Latimer. Now there was a bit after this, and Latimer,
Obviously, Latimer wins, by the way, just so you know.
the brighter side of suffering, you don't kick out of that, so it was a free. Latimer does win in the ring with Kyle, and he is cashing in his lucky seven. And much like Max the Impaler, but he's got a different target, and that target is the Overman. And he wants that opportunity that he was had that Matt Cardona come out in last time. So he wants a shot at EC3 at 76. And EC3 kind of referenced it that he doesn't think that he doesn't want him to do it because he's going to beat Latimer.
Yeah. And then
Um,
Latimer will end up with no championships. But honest to goodness, I am so excited for that match. Like, I cannot wait to see it.
we don't know how long we have to wait to see it.
Hopefully, only another few weeks, but who knows?
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. I don't want to wait too long for that match, but Latimer EC3 for the World Heavyweight Championship will be happening in NWA. Has already happened in NWA 76, but will be happening on CW soon. Latimer's belt will be up for grabs at some point. Don't know when. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it might be at 76.
I would have thought so. I would have thought they would have put it on the
I
line.
can't remember what the card for 76 was, but I
Um,
think it might be at 76.
if it made sense, it was a four-way, and I think that's
That
probably
rings a bell.
that would probably be wise. And I think the people
Yeah,
who have ever held it or kind of been around that championship before. So yeah, it would make sense. So we'll see. But nevertheless, Latimer EC3. So Latimer has now dropped his title and will be going for EC3 in the lucky set. Rolling. Now,
quantum.
come on, Tom. You do it for the Brits, right? Anyway, and I love EC3 by the way, but you got to
Likewise, but
stick with
Tom's my
your
boy.
own, right? You've got to stick with your own. Now, street fight time. My God,
Your main event. Oofed.
jeez,
Oofed.
Christ. Well, the It girls, Sam Star was still wearing a neck brace.
I know, I thought she might have had that off. That was interesting.
No, she still had it. They come up with baking trays.
Because that's the most hardcore weapon in the world.
Wasn't there like a washing basket?
There was a plastic, like, laundry basket. Yeah. I'm not really sure you can do much damage with that, but you never know.
And then, of course, the Page sisters kind of take it up a notch. They come out with glittery pink baseball bat.
Of course. Why would they not come out with glittery pink things? Glittery pink baseball bat and a glittery pink PE steel chair.
There you go. They were everywhere. They
Which was
fought.
great because the Page sisters were straight off the bat, straight through the ropes out to the girls on the outside, which was great.
They
If you
did
were in
that.
the audience for that match, that must have been a lot of fun because they were all over that gym hall.
They were here, there, and everywhere. Their merch table. They went through the crowd up in the stands. They were doing everything. They were choking each other with bats, and they had a flag as well. I want to talk about that in a minute, actually, because there was a big ass spot of a clothesline with that flag. We need to
I
talk.
know, I know.
Um, so they were choking each other with the bat. Sam Starr got busted wide,
And then it went black and white.
and
And
then I hope because
that
NXT starts on that in a few weeks. I hope they don't do that on NXT.
I wonder if it's like a contractual thing for the channel. I don't know, but it kind of took a little bit away from me. I'm not a hardcore fan, and I don't shy away from the fact that I don't like hardcore wrestling. And this wasn't really a hardcore match as such,
No,
but Samantha started a little bit of blood. It went black and white, and
little.
then like a minute later, she had this whole. You could clearly see her face was just covered, and it was pouring out. But I was like, damn, I kind of want to see the impact of that.
It did take away the whole moment, isn't it?
I think it did. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that wasn't an NWA decision. I think that was probably a network CW decision.
I wouldn't have think that would be an NWA decision, to be quite honest with you. I definitely think that would be a decision by the CW. Anyway, there was Lego on in the ring,
There was.
as you do.
Quick question for you, Adam, and any other Brits watching. So the Americans, hello, thanks for watching. You call it Legos when it's multiple? It's just Lego or Lego over here, unless you
Lego.
call it Legos as well.
No, it's
Like, I never
Lego.
put an S at the end of it. That's always fascinated me. Sorry, random thought
Yeah,
of the.
I agree. Well, I didn't make a note of it, but I did kind of heard it, and I was just like, oh, okay.
I know quite a lot of Americans that call it Legos if there's more than one. Oh, there's Legos on the ring. No, it's just Lego.
It's Lego.
Lego.
It is Lego. That was in the ring. Let me go back to this flag. So they were doing a tug of war at one point over this flag.
And it was funny because it was a pretty empowered banner. So it was the banners that Danny sells at the merch. So they have like various ones. So it was the nice, pretty empowered one. But
And
yeah,
the Page sisters win it. They hit this clothesline. I think it's on Ella. You heard
it's
the
on
whip.
Ella. Yeah.
You heard the whiplash of the banner across her neck at the time that she done it.
I've literally written oofed.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I was. I
Oofed.
think the word that
That
came
was
out.
kind of the sound that came out my. I was like, oofed. Like,
Oh no, I said fucking hell.
I thought they'd
That's
taken
what
their head off. Like, that looked nasty.
I thought, because obviously she went straight down. I thought that because of the ref went and checked on her, and I thought, is she actually okay? Because it sounded, as you said, I mean, the whiplash
At least when they did it next on Miss Star, she had this big collar to
neck
protect
brace on.
herself. I'm like, poor Ella.
I mean, unbelievable. And then it takes an even more. So you had the Legos on the floor.
Lego.
And then Kenzie pulls out the little, the little
The
bag.
thumbtacks.
Of course, the thumbtacks.
You can't have a match like that and not have thumbtacks.
Absolutely not. I mean, you've got everything else. You've had everything else. And kendo sticks, I think, were used at one point as well. But why not? But Kylie, I'm sure it was Kylie, leg sweeped one of them onto the thumbtacks, and she took most of the fall off
She
the
took
back.
she took most of the bump on that one, absolutely. Because I was like, do you know, I was like, I think it was on my star, and I was like, how did
Yeah.
that happen? So
Unbelievable. But it was the aforementioned Kylie that hit a huge drop kick into the face in the corner.
that looked so nasty, and you can see referee Jared Fritz like because it caught her right where she was cut open. I was like, oh, that's gonna spark beauty.
Possibly done on purpose, not on purpose, but meant to have been done for the effects of the cut. It was nice to see Kylie get the win. Normally, when Kenzie and Kylie or someone and Kenzie, it's Kenzie that gets the win. It was really nice that Kylie picked up the victory for Pretty
Yeah,
Empowered in this.
absolutely.
And potentially down the line, obviously, a tag team title opportunity could be coming their way. We don't know. We'll have to wait. It
We
won't
do
be at
not know.
76 because they're both in separate matches at 76. Kenzie and Max and Kylie's in the Burke Invitational. So we'll wait and see on that. But what a
Yeah.
main event. What?
That was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. My only gripe is that it went black and white.
And there's a little commercial in the halfway through. Mama went,
Oh yeah, because it cut just as Miss Star's coming back, climbing up
yeah,
into the ring, and she's quite obviously got the Lego
yeah,
because she
yeah,
had a black bag in her hand, and then when it cuts back, the Lego's all in the ring, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
okay.
So yeah, and the commercial. Other than that, and it going black and white for the blood, but probably, as you said, network decision. Now let's get on to next week, shall we?
I know where
So
you're going with this.
first things first, the Stu Crew against the Fixers. So we're going to see JCP, right? Screw
We are indeed.
against
We are indeed.
Fixers. I could be saying that a lot next week. Tag team, the women's tag team championships on the line. The King Bees against La Rosa Negra and Rufy J
Hmm.
on the card. We're going to see the first time of the X one of the Exodus Pro title matches that one of the title matches they've got in the Exodus Pro in a no DQ match. It's going to be Big Strong Mims and Pretty Boy Smooth.
Who has been the champion for a little while there now.
So interesting to see if Mims can get to it, but.
Particularly, well, before you go on to the one that you're really excited about, particularly with Jesus in his corner, you never
Oh,
quite know what Jesus is going to get up to. So if Jesus in Mims's corner, this could be a hard one for Pretty Boy Smooth.
it could be. It could be. However, next week, I'm not so excited. I don't care about Zion so much. Sorry, Zion. but his opponent, I when it flashed on my screen, I had to pause it to make
I
sure
can only imagine.
it was. But the juice is coming to NWA next week. Juventud Guerrera, who's actually in Crossfire. He's the champion, is he not? In Crossfire, I believe he's the cross. I'm sure
I'm
Kenzie said
100%
he's the
certain,
champion.
but yeah.
But nevertheless, we're going to see Hoovy
Movie.
next week on Power. I'm so looking forward to seeing Juventud Guerrera next week.
You're easily pleased, darling.
What can I say? WCW, ECW days are going to come flooding back next week, and of course the promo with The Rock, and when The Rock, what is a hooven tooth, and God knows what else. Anyway, I'm so happy to see Hoovy next week. It's going to be great, and obviously if you want to see Hoovy, go and see Crossfire Wrestling as well in October, because they're doing 2 nights, and Hoovy will be there. I think he's going against one of the Drakes. Is he not? Have I got that wrong? I can't remember. Anyway, go and see him at Crossfire Wrestling as well. But going to see people, Fee, what is going on in your world?
Okay, so this week, Premier British Wrestling on Friday night are in Larbert, which is always a good night. The crowd always turn out for us. We've got a couple of really good matches. We've got Angel Hayes versus Rio. We have our main event, which is a triple threat for the PBW Heavyweight Championship. And the current champion, Daz Black, is going up against BT Gun, and that's really bad, but I can't remember the third man. I'm so sorry. I'm going to get shot. I should probably check that
Ideally.
out. But we have a triple threat. CJ Banks is also up for is also up for the show. Who else have we got? We've got Krieger. In fact, I've got the card here. Yeah, sorry. So we've got Davey Blaze with Charles Boddington against Lucha DS. We've got CJ Banks and Hugo Harris. We've got a tag team match. We've got Rio versus Angel Hayes. We've got Scott Valentine versus Krieger. And we have the PBW Championship match, which is BT Gunn versus Shay Monet versus champion Daz Black. The
And
triple
obviously
threat.
Rio,
That is going to be a lot of fun.
and Rio, who doesn't scare the shit out of you in one iota, does she?
I know I'm a little bit scared about sharing a ring with that woman again, but it's been a
Her
while.
entrance music
So
is great, by the way. I love
what's that?
her entrance. I don't know if it's the same entrance music, Rio's. I don't know if she's got the same entrance music, sort of when she's at Progress.
She's also no longer ICW Women's Champion. Lana Austin beat her to that.
She's gonna be in more of a bad mood then.
Yeah, I might just stay out her way actually.
Maybe wise, maybe wise. So you got that kind of. What's your next Inside the Ropes gig?
October. So towards the end of October, I think it's the 23rd and the 28th. We have none other than Brutus the Barber Beefcake. We have a show in London and one in Glasgow again, sandwiched on either or sandwich at bookend, and I think in the period that he's got potentially another Comic Con or something. InsideTheRopes.com or itrtix.com for tickets for that.
Gonna get a haircut from him.
Yeah. It'll be good. I think he'll have some interesting stories to tell.
I would have thought so. Are you going to get a haircut from him, or are you going to leave that to Kenny?
He better keep those bloody shears away from him.
Well,
That's all I have to say on that.
Brewers, Brewers don't even think about it. Anyway, Sunday we are back at Ignite Wrestling. It's Aftermath. And our new champion has got a slightly interesting match. He's in a fatal four-way, is Mr. True. And he'll be going against close personal friends Danny Black and Joe Lando, and the debuting JJ Gal from Revolution Pro Wrestling. So good luck with that. The main event is Tommy Kyle defending the Ignite Championship against Connor Mills. And alternatively, in the women's action, we have Aluna versus Sapphire Reed in a first time ever singles match. They've never met in any other promotion.
Okay, that'll be interesting.
They were tag team. It was a tag. They've been on separate sides of a tag team, but never been one-on-one. So there we have it. Go and see that. Fee, it's always been lovely, NWA, and I ask this nearly every week now. So shall we do this again next week?
Oh, go on.
Go on then. Back to the Territories 3 next week. Go and wait for that. But until then, everybody, this has been the NWA Back to the Territories Part 2 review on the podcast with Miss NWA.
Go watch it on the CW.
If you're in America, CW app. If you're in England, do it illegally via stream.
or anywhere else in the world for
or
that
anywhere
matter.
else in the world for that matter. But anyway, as apart from that, she has been Miss NWA, Fiona Loughren. I've been the front man, Queen, now apparently Q. I have been the front man, Adam Cousins. And until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.